Do you guys want to see? I think, yeah. Do you guys want to see the intro, or do we want to get to the talking points? We could look at some of the comments as well, actually. I think that'd be good. So how about this? I'll have you guys vote. I want to make sure everybody votes on this. Intro, yes or no? Yeah, because intro talking points. Yeah, I don't think we have the time to really dig super deep, you know, into everything. But democracy counts here. He just said in the comments, this is gonna turn into a Drizzts defense stream. So let's see. Oh, it is shifting. I don't know. Why did I do a prediction? I should have done a poll. Okay. Yeah, that's not fair. Okay. My bad. Some of y'all about to lose bread. That's kind of funny. Why did I do this? Oh, no. My bad. I should have done a poll, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. That's my fault. That's my fault. Don't know why that happened. I can delete it. They said yes. I'll delete it. I'll delete it. Yes, I can return the points. I can return the points. I forgot. You're good. I returned the points. It's okay. It's okay. I refunded the points. It's okay. Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. All right, the intro. This is the intro. Sissy Baka.
The world has changed.
This is Sage's voice, by the way. Seastone Sage.
I feel it in the chapters. I feel it in the pacing. I see it in the art. Much that once was is lost, for none now care who remember it.
Now this is Lord of the Rings, right? I remember this. This is funny.
Mother mode.
This is my favorite part of the intro.
This is the worst shit that I've ever seen happen to a character. Ever.
I'm so mad he got me, dog.
Talking about it with friends was so fun because it was so trash in the story.
He really got me when I was mad at the Sanji Black Mirror thing. He found it because I didn't post that live reaction. He found a hidden clip. He said, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen happen to a character."
Deep within a bleak and dismal swamp, hidden
Bleak
beneath
within
its
a deep
murky
and
waters,
dismal swamp.
lies the headquarters of the most sinister villains of all time.
All right, so we did that. That's the intro. Now, so what's the first point we're getting to? So let's look at this. Let's not the comments. That's not what I want to see. So what do we want to start off with here? Where do we want to start off with? Do we want to start off with the dreams? You want to start off with Luffy's dream or the hero's journey? Pre-time skip versus post-time skip. Do you want to get into that? So we have dreams, then there's opening thesis. What was my dream being young? I wanted to be a soccer player. I wanted to be the best soccer player in the world. Dreams, I'm seeing a lot of people say dreams. All right, so let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. So most of it is pre and post. Found another contributor. God bless you, El Baffy, my boy. So where do we start? Dreams. Opening thesis. Pre versus post. I'll do that. 3 options. Make sure you vote in the polls, and then we can get started. I got about an hour left. I got about an hour for you guys with this stuff. How am I contributor? If you got to level 10, you're probably a contributor. If you got to level 10. Where is Fresh Drizzts of Bel Air? Where is that? I do want to see that. Another contributor. Oh no, maybe you spent money or something. I don't know. Appreciate you, Big Fish. What's up, Cole? 7 minutes. I do want to see Fresh Drizzts of Bel Air. Right now it's neck and neck between pre and post and dreams. It is very close, but we're starting off with dreams, and dreams is actually going to be very interesting. All right, so it looks like dreams won. But before dreams, I want to see Fresh Drizzts of Bel Air.
Lost the time. I have privated and deleted many of my older videos because I intend to change what I do on this channel heading into the future. So only those who experienced it firsthand will know that 2021 Drizzts is a completely different person from 2016 Drizzts. But that's where the first step in our journey begins. I want to talk about how this switch in beliefs came about and what I want to get across through this video. Let's begin.
Oh my god, nigga.
Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, I don't mean to pander. I'll tell you how I became the undisputed king of slander.
What's wrong with him, bro? Wano stinks. Not a Morse plushie.
In West Pennsylvania, born and raised, reading manga, my room's where I spend most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, out cool, and making YouTube videos while outside of school. When a couple of One Piece socks were up,
the whole cake.
Trouble up my neighborhood.
What is this?
I made angry videos in the community.
What is
crowd
this?
And said, we hereby dub you Drizzts the Drag Down.
This is the most hideous thing I've ever. He said I'm deeply offended. Ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way, dog. El Baffy just said I felt racism.
We're brothers, right? That's right. Oh my God. We're brothers. We're brothers. You're brothers.
I just don't know how I feel about that.
I'm not arguing with you.
I feel like I was personally attacked for whatever reason. I just feel like I was offended. I don't know what it was. Virgo just said, call me the N-word, please. Just do it. Put me on my misery. Just do it. Just call me in. He said, is this gentrification? Shout out to King Triller. Appreciate you, my Italian brother. God bless. Welcome to the family. Nah, bro, it's just that I'm deeply offended for me. That's the one. I'm offended. I don't have anything to say. I'm just upset. He said he's banned from Philly. I'm breaking his fingers. I love Drizzts, but good God, my people got sent back 50 years. He said it's like Tyson Fury versus Wilder. The streets are dead. You miss Brew? You been to Brew? You been to Brew, Triller? You talking about the bar in Philly, Brew? Rick, shut up, nigga. He said the hood is changing. Not the hood is changing, nigga. He said the hood not the same no more. Dog, there's tears. There's actual tears in my eyes, dog. Oh my god. Yo, there's actual tears in my eyes, nigga. Yo. My sisters are crying for a call to action, please. He said somebody gotta fight him. Somebody. Okay. He said Harriet Tubman Dempsey rolling in her grave. Not Dempsey rolling. No, nigga, no. Okay. I need a minute. I need a minute. Oh. 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 Can we get to the video, please? Between the hood is changing, I'm deeply offended. Harriet Tubman Dempsey rolling in the grave. Like, what are we doing? Why are we going so far? He said our segregation bounce is valid. Ponder it. I might. Let's get to these dreams. Oh my goodness. Oh, sweet Lord. Lord have mercy. Oh. All right. Here we go.
After this, there is no turning back.
Here we go.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in
So
your
how
bed
long is
and
the Luffy
believe
segment?
whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how
Luffy
deep the
segment.
rabbit hole
Okay,
goes.
it's like 13 minutes. Oh.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
Jim Crow's been reinstated. Hold on, I gotta see
All I'm
that.
offering is the truth.
Learn the truth and stop watching. I'm screaming. Oh, petty, 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 petty. That's really petty. Wow, that was petty. Wow, run that back. I need you to understand what just happened here.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm
Learn
offering
the
is
truth or stop watching. Oh my God. I need to stop watching the video, please. And they watch it down with a horror video. That is really, really petty, nigga. Human fruit model Jim Crow, please. I love O'Hara. O'Hara's my boy. All right? O'Hara's my boy. But O'Hara did not deserve that stray. I'm sorry. O'Hara did not deserve that stray. He did not deserve the stray bullet like that. How my nigga O'Hara caught a stray, bro? You could at least... Oh,
Out of all the MCs who have a dream that consists of the "I'm gonna be something" idiom, Luffy and Naruto are probably the most iconic ones, to the point where even if you haven't seen them say it, you know what it is they're gonna say.
Okay.
Well, at least if you're an anime fan. And it's kind of ironic. Despite all of the marketing success and the number of times that Luffy himself states he wants to become king of the pirates, The story makes it seem as though Luffy is uninterested and doesn't care about what it takes to reach his dream. What do I mean? Luffy has no character agency when it comes to chasing after the shadow of Roger. The greatest interest that Luffy ever had was his desire to explore Logtown, all the way back in East Blue, because he had heard that Logtown was the birth and execution grounds of Gold Roger.
Okay.
Hearing that gave him a sense of wonder. It was a fabulous start to Luffy's interest, because naturally, if you are someone who is trying to find the treasure that was left behind by the greatest pirate to ever live, you'd probably be interested in the guy. At the heart of the idea of One Piece is the concept that Luffy is on a treasure hunt, and to find treasure, you have to go look for clues. Logtown created the foundation for Oda to explore this interest, but what happened to it? Outside of Luffy being shocked at Rayleigh and Shanks being on board Roger's ship, at no point for the rest of the story has Luffy ever cared about Roger again outside of surface level reaction faces. He's never done anything similar to what he did in Logtown ever again, which is the opposite of what you would normally assume, because Luffy's attitude is that of a go-getter, someone who is supposed to know what he wants and isn't afraid to jump in after those desires. But reality is often disappointing.
Oh, not the Thanos clip.
The story that Oda is telling is at odds with what is shown. In conversation on different channels, I have alluded to this vacancy.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What just happened? What did we miss? So, this is... Well, actually, I want to... Oh, I'm here.
Within Luffy's character writing, without giving much detail.
Whoa, whoa, go back. Why
the
am I
story
there?
that Oda is telling is at odds with what is shown. In conversation on different channels, I have a...
Y'all remember that old Abby? Y'all remember this? Y'all remember JD Blackbeard? I miss him.
Alluded to this vacancy within Luffy's character writing, without giving much detail, just to see what people would say.
So, let's talk about the Roger thing. So, I will admit, Luffy does not really... He doesn't seem to be enamored with Roger. There's the only time he was ever enamored with Roger was in Logtown. And I actually made a specific point of this when I read Romance Dawn and I put out my Romance Dawn video. Luffy has so much more of an interest, and he has... The influence on Luffy is... Luffy has more reverence for Shanks than he does Roger. And obviously it's because he actually met Shanks. But it seems like Luffy models his crew, models his lifestyle, models his ambition. Well, his ambition is more Roger, but his like lifestyle, his motto, the way he lives his life is way more Shanks than it is Roger. So Luffy wanting to be the king of the pirates was more of a declaration to Shanks saying, hey, I'm going to be the greatest pirate ever because I wanted to join your pirate crew. Since I can't join, hey, you know what? I'm going to find a great crew. I'm going to be a great pirate. Matter of fact, I'm going to be the king of the pirates. One thing I noticed in that sense is it seemed like it had really nothing to do with Roger, and it had more to do with Shanks, because earlier on, did Luffy even mention Roger in Romance Dawn? Because I don't remember him mentioning Roger or talking about Roger in Romance Dawn. So for me, Luffy is only seen Shanks when it comes to his ambition to be a pirate, and that's it. So that's one way I would combat it as well, right? That's how I see it. Not until Logtown, exactly. So Roger has never really been of interest to Luffy from the very beginning. Never. That's how I've been. He saw Roger, oh, this is the Pirate King. All right, let me go over here. So when it comes to him wanting to find the One Piece, I think that's more inherently tied to the fact of being a pirate. Yeah, I think Luffy's idea of a pirate was shaped by Shanks. Luffy's idea of everything involved piracy is Shanks. So Shanks, when you see Shanks and his explanation to... when you see Shanks' explanation of what it means to a pirate, Ben Beckman said this in particular. Hey, listen, man. Being a pirate is like going out, having fun, you know, singing, dancing, drinking, but we also pillage. We also are faced with dangers of the sea, and if you go out there, you can die and you should be older. So Luffy's idea of a pirate is going on adventures with your friends and drinking at bars and pillaging from time to time and being a criminal, because he's admitted to himself, hey, listen, bro, we're pirates. Look at the end of Romance Dawn with Kobe, Zoro, and the Marines. He's like, pirates shouldn't be getting a warm send-off. They should be trying to kick our ass as we leave. So, Luffy saying he wants to be the king of the pirates. Luffy saying he wants to look for the One Piece. I think it's more tied to the fact that he just wants to be the greatest pirate ever. The greatest pirate ever happens to be Roger, but he doesn't really talk about it. So for me, it's like a basketball player that talks to that's like fighting back against somebody saying, oh, you're not going to be a good basketball player, or you can't be a basketball player yet. He's like, you know what, I'm going to be the best basketball player ever. The best basketball player in a lot of people's minds happens to be Michael Jordan. Doesn't mean he wants to be just like Michael Jordan. Doesn't mean he's going to emulate everything Michael Jordan does. Some people want to be the greatest ever in their own way. And Luffy's motto and his character is all about doing things his own way, because that's how Shanks did it, right? Shanks intrinsically did things his own way based on his contrast with Higuma. With Higuma, he was like, hey, man, I killed 52 people. I'm built different, man. And Luffy was like, oh, you should have stood up for yourself. Shanks was like, I'm not built that way. That's not how I live my life. Luffy saw that and realized he can live his life in a different way based off Shanks. So that's how he was influenced. So that's how I see that. That's how I see that whole thing, right? I think Luffy's dream, I think the wording of him wanting to be the Pirate King, it's not tied to Roger just based on when I reread Romance Dawn. Because I think, I'll be honest, I agree with Drizzts. I don't think Luffy gives a shit about Roger, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think he respects what Roger did, but he doesn't know anything about Roger. He knows what Shanks did. And he just wants to be the greatest pirate ever. I don't think it has anything to do with Roger, in my opinion. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I've seen it, just based on the reread. That's how I see it. So let me see what you guys are saying here. Happy Messiah. Luffy emulating his character after Roger is entirely anti-theo. I don't even know if I'm going to say that right. To the point of One Piece. At the core, he seeks freedom, which is a trait he naturally shares with the Pirate King. Purposely modeling himself after Roger misses the point of what he's trying to become. I agree with that. To be fair, no one in the series, from my recollection, is a Rogers fanboy after his execution. Pirates hold him in a high regard, but no one acts like Bartolomeo about Roger. So, so for me, this is why I said this. And the one thing I said, if you guys watch my Romance Dawn, watch the Romance Dawn video, because I highlight this in specific. Roger is great because he inspired an entire generation of people to have a purpose. And that's it. The purpose of being the greatest. The fact that there is a possibility. So think about it. Roger finding the One Piece and being the world's most notorious criminal and saying, hey, I left all of my treasure in one place. If you find that treasure, you will be the most notorious criminal ever. You'll be just like me, the king of the pirates. Basically, what Roger has done is sold someone a dream that if you find this one thing, you're the king of the world and people can't touch you. So all these guys, they never cared about Roger. They didn't care who he is. They cared about the purpose they put in him, because Roger gave them an opportunity to be king of the world. That's it. Roger's like, hey man, you can be king of the world. That's why Blackbeard wants the One Piece, Kaido, Big Mom, they all want the One Piece because they get to be king of the world. Roger wasn't built that way, so they didn't care about Roger. They care about his treasure and what he stood for. With Luffy, when he sees that, and he sees Shanks say, hey man, I want to be a pirate and explore the seas. If Luffy's ambition is to be a pirate, like Shanks, which is what he wants to be, and Shanks in himself loves freedom and traveling wherever, then Roger, the one who has everything, Luffy sees that everything, he sees that One Piece and sees the ultimate freedom. And he's like, hey, I found the One Piece, I'm the freest man in the sea. So the One Piece, Roger's life, is an example to Luffy. It's an example of the possibility. He doesn't idolize Roger. I don't think he's ever idolized Roger to the sense that he became the freest man in the world. He idolizes Shanks. He doesn't idolize Roger. And that's how I see it. That's my opinion. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. I don't know if you guys, what do you guys think about that? Why is becoming and finding out about Roger necessary to become Pirate King? So I'll say this. What Drizzts is saying here is that if you have an ambition, so for example, take it from a YouTuber's perspective. I want to be a massive. I want to hit 100K. That's one of my ultimate goals, is hitting 100K, getting that plaque and putting it behind so y'all can see the plaque. That's one of my biggest goals. If I'm interested in getting to 100K, what I had to do was I had to look at people who had 100K. I had to look at people like Brago and Morge and O'Hara and Joy Boy, Tekke, King of Lightning, Roger. I had to look at these guys and find which path to 100K that suits me and my personality, my style, and try and emulate that in my own unique way. But I had to do research. I had to look into what they did. I had to look into their comment section, how they interacted with their chat. I had a genuine interest because their goal, they already achieved my goal, so I want that. So I think what Drizzts is saying in this sense is if Luffy wants to be the Pirate King like he says he does, he should be doing the groundwork and understanding the journey to get there. And I understand where that's coming from. But it seems like Drizzts wants him to really care about Roger and what he did to get there. I think Luffy's mindset is, I want to get there, but in my own way. And that's kind of just the definition of Luffy throughout the story. Is, yeah, I want this, but I'm going to do it in my own way. Otherwise, there's no point. You know? Because Luffy could take shortcuts. If he just followed Roger's journey, he could just take shortcuts into One Piece. Try asking Sawyer for a shout out. I'm not in the business for asking for shout outs. If you want to shout me out, you will, because of my work and because I do a good job, not because I asked. That's my mentality. I don't like that, because then it feels hollow. That's just me. It's so much more rewarding for someone to acknowledge your work and shout you out on their own accord, because it's genuine. One, they don't feel forced, and they don't look at you like a clout chaser. That's it. I know you're joking. I know. All right, so shall we continue on? Let's continue on.
The responses that I receive would be of a common incredulousness. People saying, that's not true, but never saying why not. The most popular retort was to argue that Robin's existence in the story supplements the need for Luffy to be involved in the finer details.
Which is true.
I think that is a weird way to respond, personally. Robin wanting to learn about the Void Century doesn't justify Luffy not caring about his own dream. Just because Robin fulfills the role of having a character around so you can give exposition to the audience, doesn't mean that other characters can get away with not caring. In a living and breathing world, which One Piece is supposed to be if I'm not mistaken, people should react and comment on the wants and desires of those around them and themselves. And this shouldn't be constrained by the limited imagination of the author. When it comes to Luffy, does it make sense for him not to care about the Void Century, poneglyphs, or anything related to Roger simply because, hey, that's Robin's thingy? And like, these ideas are kind of connected? Robin's interest is in the Rio Poneglyph. The Rio Poneglyph and the One Piece are not the same thing. They may have common interests involved, sure, but they aren't the same. Roger's end goal was to simply find out what was at the end of this mystery left behind by other people. He didn't really care about much else aside from that, at least at first. That obviously changed because of what he did. Roger and Luffy are so often compared to one another in attitude that, you know, there's the belief that they're essentially like the same type of person.
Right.
But Roger stands head and shoulders over Luffy when it comes to character.
1 second, I just realized that this is oh, hold on. There you go. Hold on. It's not capturing everything completely. There you go. Better.
Agency. Roger was interested in poneglyphs. Roger needed help. So Roger went out specifically to recruit Odin. Roger was the one who instigated leaving his message behind at Skypiea. Roger was the person asking questions to Madame Charlie. Roger was the one at the forefront of his desires, not someone else. The poneglyphs are so important to becoming the Pirate King that most high-level pirates that want to be Pirate King go after them or are already in possession of one, like Big Mom and Kaido. And they are searching for a way to read and make use of them. They are developing plans, creating strategies, which have taken them years to accomplish. But what does Luffy do? Luffy knows for a fact that it is impossible to find Raftail without finding the rope poneglyphs, which means that they are priority numero uno to acquire in his journey. Luffy was at first excited by the idea that he could acquire poneglyphs to get to Raftail back in Zou, yet Luffy hasn't played any role in them since. It has never been a priority for him, and he hasn't said anything about them. When Luffy left Zou to go to Whole Cake Island, Robin and Pedro were the ones who cared about the poneglyphs, not Luffy. Same with Wano. Hell, Law is showing more of an interest in pursuing something he's interested in than Luffy. Luffy doesn't ask questions about the One Piece. Luffy doesn't look for clues. Luffy isn't finding things to reflect on or react to.
Oh yes,
Luffy isn't absorbing information. Luffy isn't talking to people. He is just breathing, and everyone else in the story is doing everything for him except fight people. Luffy's conception of what it means to be Pirate King is inherently flawed. It doesn't make any sense. Luffy said it himself. His interpretation of what being the Pirate King means equates to becoming the freest person on the seas.
Okay.
What exactly does freedom mean? The freedom to do what? What part of Luffy's life is lacking freedom? He travels around to every island, has fun, and then goes on more adventures. Is that not freedom? What more does he need? If being free is what he thinks the Pirate King is, would he not already be Pirate King outside of finding the One Piece? Where does this concept of the Pirate King being free come from? Roger was said to possess everything of value within the world.
Right.
Or that's the lore attached to his legend by the newspaper. But what aspect of that life is free that he didn't have before becoming the Pirate King from Luffy's perspective? How did the One Piece change any of that outside of romanticism? Or was this perception simply fabricated by the view that others had of Roger? And if so, how does that relate to Luffy and Luffy relate to that? Why does Luffy actually want to find the One Piece? Just because it's a popular thing people want to do? We don't know. At least people like Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, Shanks, and Blackbeard have a history with iconic figures that place into context why they might care.
Yeah.
Big Mom and Kaido were on rocks. Whitebeard didn't want the throne, but was aware of its importance and kind of protecting it. Shanks is doing his own thing protecting the seas, waiting for the right person, and Blackbeard has a mysterious past.
Right.
Luffy is just a kid from Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio.
Even Braun was chasing Jordan. And theoretically, Luffy should be chasing Roger, but it doesn't really feel like that. Luffy doesn't care for material possessions. Money doesn't matter to him, nor do women. And Luffy is not an idealist.
Right.
He doesn't care about the world or its issues, and Luffy himself has no stance on them either, except whenever it's convenient to him because it's bothering his closest friends.
Right.
Luffy doesn't need to have some grand backstory to reveal some super connection with a mythological figure to justify his interest in the One Piece. There is a romance involved with him just being a kid with a dream. But hell, man. Even Sanji has memories of reading books and dreaming about the All Blue while living in an environment which hampered his ability to cook, which relates to freedom. There was a yearning there. Did that ever exist for Luffy? What is the origin of this motivation in relation to the One Piece and freedom? You could potentially point to the death of Sabo for freedom.
Okay.
Ace was the one who told Luffy that they needed to live a life of freedom.
Okay.
Yet from that amazing moment in the ASL flashback, the concept of freedom in Luffy goes nowhere, because Luffy has never lacked freedom in his entire life, from what we know. The concept of freedom was more understood by Ace and Sabo as a fundamental aspect of their identity than it was by Luffy.
So this is a
cared
good
more
point
about the world and how it affected them.
So I'll stop it here because I think this is a good point. This is a good point. Luffy's thirst for freedom. Where does it stem from? Because everyone has a motivation for what it is that they're chasing, right? And I think Drizzts brings up a good point here is where is that coming from? Now, there are some people that say, well, we don't need to know where it came from. It's just who he is. And some people read it that way. I've read it that way. I think I do read it that way. But when you think deeper about it, where is that coming from, right? And I think one thing that I think is interesting is that Luffy's so-called hidden dream and agenda that Ace told Yamato, it still needs to be revealed. Maybe that'll answer this question. But for the most part, I don't think Drizzts is wrong in saying this because, again, if he's not chasing after Roger and Shanks is his idol and Shanks operated on, you know, freedom to define what a pirate is, then, you know, where did that notion of wanting to be free come, where did that notion come from? He already had the straw hat with Ace and Sabo, and they talked about freedom as well. So, again, maybe we're asking for Luffy to be a bit deeper than he is, and I think Luffy is designed not to be too deep of a character, which I'm fine with, because I don't think Luffy's a deep character. I think he's a character, he's more of a mirror to everyone else to reflect their own insecurities, when Luffy is just a pure agent of, I want to do what I want when I want, right? Is that a complaint of the series? It's just an unanswered question like everything else in One Piece. We'll find out what Luffy's true dream is when it's necessary for us to know. So the point of this video, Chitty, is I see what you're saying, and it is possible to wait, but you gotta understand, every time I hear that response, it gets tiring. Oh, you just gotta wait, you just gotta wait. I think it's a valid question to ask that could still be answered. It could definitely still be answered. But right now, after 1,000 chapters, and we still don't really know where that desire for freedom comes from, I think it's a valid criticism. I think it's valid, at the very least. I can't answer that question. I can't answer that question. Character motivation is important and shouldn't take 24 years to answer, which is true. It's literally been 20 years and we still don't know. You know, so again, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Luffy wanting to be the most free, but I think Drizzts is looking for something deeper. And I think with One Piece fans, we accept Luffy for the way he is, and we enjoy him for the way he is. And then for people who want a little bit deeper, who want a little bit, they want more. Luffy doesn't have to be deep, but if they get something from him and understand why he wants to be free so much, it adds more depth to his character without him having to be a deep character, if that makes any sense. Because with Naruto, we know why he wanted to be Hokage. We know why Naruto wanted to be Hokage. He was by himself. He wanted people to acknowledge him because everyone in the village shunned him for a reason he never knew. That's why Naruto being Hokage matters, because as the Hokage, everybody has to acknowledge you. Everybody has to. With Luffy, being the king of the pirates means being the freest man in the world. I understand that because that's the dream Roger sold. Roger turned himself in. Roger turned himself in. So technically, they couldn't catch him no matter what. He was built different, period. So all right, brother, this was fun, but I'm gonna head out. This vid gave me pink eye and ringworm. All right, Kichi, I'll catch you later, bro. Yeah, I get that he already dressed it. Not trying to be problematic. I just don't see. Well, yeah. So, and that's the whole point of this, right? We're having a discussion here, right? We're having a discussion. That's what this is really about. And if you guys have any responses to what I say, like, just at me so I can read it, because there's a lot of, like, you know, there's a lot of discourse going in between the chat. So if you guys want to combat a point that I'm actually saying, at me so I can at least read it. So maybe if you don't agree with what I'm saying, at least I get to know.
Ace had an inner turmoil when it comes to his lineage with Roger, and desperately wanted to get away from it. Sabo was trapped by the corrupted shadow of the Goa Kingdom, which affected Ace and how Ace viewed freedom. And Luffy? Luffy is awkwardly absent. Compared to most Straw Hats, Luffy has been the freest of all of them at every point in his life. He never suffered from not having freedom, which makes it odd that he's the one most attached to it. If you were to simply look at the way that Luffy operates in the world, being free to Luffy means that he is...
Niggas still don't like Naruto for his motivations. Mori, the reason people don't like Naruto is because it seemed like his whole notion was to fight against destiny, and he ended up being a destined child anyway. That's the reason why people don't like Naruto's motivations. I don't even think it's a problem with Naruto. I think people have a problem with Kishimoto throwing away early Naruto's motivations. I think that's what it is.
Strong enough to beat up everybody who faces him. Luffy wants to defeat all of the Yonko, yet the reason for beating them isn't actually tied to becoming the Pirate King from Luffy's perspective, outside of the fact that these are people, some of which that want to find the One Piece. Luffy wants to beat these guys up because they are strong, not because they are a necessity to defeat, which is at odds with Luffy's desires. It's not like Luffy went out to find the rest of the warlords to beat them up after Crocodile.
That's a good point. But I would say in that argument, Luffy beating up the Yonkos is inherently tied to his freedom of the seas, because the Yonkos rule the seas, not the Shichibukai. It's the Yonkos. So him beating all of the Yonkos is directly in hand with him being the freest person on the sea. Roger wanted to find the history of the world because Roger was curious about that. Luffy wants to be the freest person in the sea. So in order for him to actually achieve that goal, he needs to beat people that would be a direct conflict with his freedom. But that also mean Luffy would have to beat the admirals. Luffy would have to beat all 3 admirals and Akainu. So I hope Luffy has that in his plans as well, because he's gonna have to do that too. Then he's gonna have to beat Blackbeard.
Nor did he want to run and beat up all of the other super.
Which is also really annoying that people don't think being a Pirate King has nothing to do with strength. Why? Why do we have that? That doesn't make any sense. Why? Why do people think being the Pirate King has nothing to do with strength? If we can acknowledge that Luffy really doesn't care about Roger and his journey, being the freest in the sea means you have to beat the people that rule the sea. You can't be free with Big Mom and Kaido running around. So why does power? Why do people say that? Hold on. Now I'm upset. Hold on, take the glasses off. You mean to tell me power and strength has nothing to do with Luffy's dream, yet he wants to be in the freest in the sea? How on earth can he be the freest in the sea with Big Mom, Kaido, and Blackbeard roaming the seas and dominating territory? Explain that to me. I don't understand it. Luffy's gung-ho attitude makes sense to being the freest in the sea, because one thing I'll say right now, and I'll say this right now, when you're free, think about Kanye and 3 Fault. You're not worried about consequences if you're free. Consequences mean nothing to you when you're free, because I can do what I want. I deal with the consequences, but I made my own decision. When you think about freedom, when you think about it, I'm free in this space. If there is a snake in the corner, venomous snake in this corner, I'm scared of that snake because if he bites me, I die. Am I free in my own apartment? No. Do I know I can kill the snake? No. So what do? I call pest control and they get rid of that goddamn snake, and now I'm free. It's an object that has to be removed in order for my freedom to be placed. Because imagine this. They're talking about, oh, Luffy's free already. Luffy's free already. Okay, so what if I'm a slave? As long as I do my work, I can do whatever I want. In my own little micro space, in my own little slave cabin with cornbread and my wife and kids, oh, I'm free in that cabin. The moment I step outside of that cabin, I'm a slave. I'm not free. If I want to be the freest man in the world, I'm killing Massa. And I'm killing every white person I see, because I will never be free in a racist world. But you can just escape to Georgia. You can escape to the north. There's no racism there. You'll be fine. But am I the freest person in the world? If I go to Alabama and I'm black, I'll get shot. I'll get hung. I'm not free. That's true. Twilight, you're right. I'm sorry. That's actually a very strong point. And I said it out loud in my apartment. So Lord knows. Hopefully people understand that. Yo. He said, I'm free in that cabin. Need a machete. I'm wilding. I don't know why I said that. He said, no. I love white people. I love them. They're great. Well, some of them. Some of them. Who knows? But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you think about freedom and the freest man in the world, you have to understand what that really means. The freest man in the world is freedom from any and all consequence. Roger turned himself in. Roger said, y'all can't catch me. I'm going to die. I'm turning myself in. Enjoy. It is what it is.
Because they were supposed to be on the same path as him, which is the same path as the Yonko. People in search of a title. But Luffy wanted to be the Yonko and not the Super.
Fundamentally, there's no difference between the SN and the Yonko prior to Zo. The SN, what does he mean by the SN? Oh, supernovas. But Luffy didn't want to beat the supernova. I disagree with that point. I disagree with that point. The supernova have nothing to do with Luffy's freedom. The supernova are on Luffy's level. If they challenged Luffy, Luffy would fight him and beat him. But they're not a direct obstacle to his freedom because they're not hampering his freedom. The supernovas roaming around, they don't own any territory. They don't dominate anything. They're not impeding his journey. The Yonko are a direct conflict to his journey. Matter of fact, in Fishman Island, Big Mama's a direct conflict because of Peckham's and all of them. Jay, them being on his level implies that they're an obstacle. I disagree severely. I disagree severely. They're not an obstacle because we're all trying to get the One Piece. If they're not stopping me on my journey, I'm free to do what I want. If you come to me and confront me, then you're an obstacle, then I'm going to fold you like a lawn chair. But the Yonko who rule the seas and I want to sail whatever sea I want to go to Whole Cake Island, but I can't go because of you, you're an obstacle. Glam, they're not impeding my journey. Is Kid, Law, Hawkins, Apu, Capone, do any of them impede his journey? Do any of them impede his journey? Could they stop him from leaving Sabaody? Did they stop him from punching the Celestial Dragon? Because think about it, Glam. In that bathhouse, do you think those Supernova 1 admirals coming in, they could have stopped Luffy from punching that nigga right there, but they didn't do it. Luffy punched the Celestial Dragon in front of the niggas, and they did nothing because they're not obstacles to him or his journey or his dream or goal. They have nothing to do with his journey. No one was an obstacle to his journey. So I disagree with that point completely. I completely disagree. I don't think they knew he was going to do something like that. Bro, he was walking up to a Celestial Dragon with an angry face. What do you think he was going to do? Walk up to them and talk to them and say, hey, bro, you shouldn't have shot my nigga. No, you're done. Kid was like, there's no way this nigga gonna hit this Celestial Dragon. And then Law was like, this nigga gonna hit him. Everybody in there was like, Luffy about to hit this nigga. Wow. He really about to do it. Think about it this way. Right? It's me and Matt, right? We're at DreamCon. Think about it this way. Me and Matt are at DreamCon. Donald Trump walks into DreamCon and slaps Brago. Slaps him. I tell Matt, don't hit him. That's Trump. Matt pushes me away and is walking towards Trump. I know Matt loves Brago like a brother. And he's walking towards Trump. In my mind, he's going to hurt that nigga. Unless I stop him from hurting Trump, I'm not an obstacle. So what are you talking about? Can Matt is like 6'3". But I think Oda dropped the ball because they were supposed to be an obstacle. See, I understand. See, but Darth, I understand that. The Supernova, even then, I don't think Oda intended them to be an obstacle yet. I think they'll be an obstacle later on, but I don't think they were ready. I think they're just rookies. I'll put it to you like this: Zion comes into the league. Ja Morant comes into the league. Is Ja Morant an obstacle for Zion right now? If Zion's goal is to win a championship, is Ja Morant an obstacle or is LeBron James the obstacle? That's a real question. Zion comes to the league. His dream is to win a championship. Is Ja Morant an obstacle right now, or is LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry the real obstacle? That's a real question. Ja is not an obstacle. He's not an obstacle. He's not you don't even know if Ja's going to make the playoffs. And the goal is championship. Who are the most likely to win the championship? Potentially an obstacle, but he's not an obstacle. That's the key. That's the key. Ja is potentially an obstacle, but a guaranteed bona fide obstacle is LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Giannis. Those are the obstacles. Guaranteed. Guaranteed obstacle. And I don't think you guys understand. No. Because if I look at Ja Morant and I'm Zion, I'm better than Ja. I'm literally better than Ja Morant. I got drafted higher than him. I'm better. So the point to draw is supernova are meant to be potential obstacles. Yes, supernovas are potential obstacles. What if but Glam, that's the problem. What if? There's no what ifs with LeBron James. There's no what ifs with Steph Curry or Giannis. You have to get by LeBron James to win a championship. You have to get by Kevin Durant to win a championship because they have a proven track record. If you want to win a ring, you have to do it. This is not about what ifs. Exactly. The person you're on a collision course with. Luffy was not on a collision course with the supernova, and he still isn't. The supernova just happened to be there when he's trying to go after Big Mom, and he just happened to be there when he's going after Kaido. They're never obstacles to Luffy. Rarely ever obstacles, and that's an indictment on the supernova. It's not on Luffy. It's not. I personally think that Luffy's freedom is also tied to the freedom of his crewmates. For example, Robin was tied down by her past and world government chasing. Once anyone joins the crew, Rain, they're part of Luffy's dream. So if anyone in Luffy's anyone in Luffy's crew is impeded, it's a direct conflict with his dream. Could it be that Luffy can surely be free already? I don't think Luffy's free yet. Luffy's not free. The Yonko are as the Yonko are a direct conflict with his dream. Direct conflict. I'm not talking about potential conflicts. We're talking about direct conflicts here. Direct. The Gorosei, Celestial Dragons, direct conflict. This comparison doesn't work because Zion hasn't made the playoffs. But Glenn, we're talking hypothetical here. You're talking about what already happened. I'm talking about both of them are drafted. We're talking about rookies. We're talking about the rookies here. Rookie season. When Luffy ran into the supernova, they're all in their rookie season. You coming into your rookie season, Ja Morant is not an obstacle in your mind. He's not an obstacle. He's not. If you come into your rookie season and say, I want to win a championship, you're thinking, your first thought is not Ja Morant. It's not. When you walk in to the league, your first thought is, who's my obstacle? It's not Ja Morant. It's LeBron James. No, Zion Williamson is Luffy. Zion is Luffy. Because he's the number one pick. He's the MC. Every number one pick is the MC of every draft. Zion gets drafted, he's the MC. Not John Morant. That's how it works. That's why the rookie, and that's what we're talking about, rookies here. If I walk into the league, I want to win a championship. I'm not thinking, oh man, it's going to be hard to beat John Morant. Fuck John Morant. What's LeBron doing? What's KD doing? Because they're the best. And to win a championship, I have to beat the best, not beat John Morant. It's a bona fide fact. It's the mindset that you go into. I love John Morant. It's just that people are acting like John Morant is Luffy. He's not.
This desire to
John Morant was never the hero of the story.
From Luffy's mouth before there was even a point to confront them to begin with. We first learn about the road poneglyphs in Zou, yet Luffy proclaimed to Law and Punk Hazard that he wanted to defeat all of the Yonko. And even
what are you saying? Don't use what ifs. What if did I use? What if? Wait. Explain to me. What if did I use? What's the what if? I need to understand this because I'm getting tired. What is the what if? What's the what if? It's as straightforward. I don't understand. It's as straightforward as ever. I get drafted. I'm the number one draft pick. A hypothetical? It's not hypothetical. It's a real world example. What are you saying? I'm Zion Williamson. I got drafted number one. John Morant got drafted number two. I'd say Zion, all the rookies say, I want to win a championship. That's what they all say. I want to win a ring in New Orleans.
We're brothers, right? That's right. It's a brothers. We're brothers.
I want to ring, but it's not, but that's the thing.
I'm not arguing.
Stop. It's not a hypothetical because it actually happened. Zion says, I want to win a ring in New Orleans. I'm going to bring a championship to New Orleans. The first thing in my mind when I think I want to bring a championship to New Orleans is not fucking John Morant. It's really not that hard to understand. It's really not. Imagine LeBron. LeBron goes to Cleveland, says I want to bring a championship to Cleveland on his draft night. The first thing he thinks of, I want to win a championship. Oh my God, I got to beat Carmelo Anthony. Kobe Bryant is right there. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili right there. You talking about I need to beat, oh my God, Carmelo's an obstacle. Carmelo ain't no goddamn obstacle to no championship in your first year. Oh my God. Glam and Jacko, you're disappointing the shit out of me right now. It's really not that hard to understand. It's not that hard to understand, and I think you're reaching. It's literally only you two that don't understand. Everybody else in this chat understands the comparison I'm making. You are trying to nitpick, and it's sad. Please. It's as straightforward as I can be. It's as straightforward as I can be. Imagine me starting out as a YouTuber. Oh, I want 100K subs. The first thing I think of is, oh, that guy with 200 subscribers, he's an obstacle. Really? Really? I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't understand.
The back, Luffy talks smack to Whitebeard and Marineford. Remember, the Straw Hats' plan was basically to sail to the end of the Grand Line because they thought that is what they had to do in order to find the One Piece because of their conversation with Crocus. The Yonko didn't really have a place there. There is no story or plotline that introduces answers to many of the questions I have asked.
There's a level to progression, but Glenn, we're not talking about progression. We're talking about the final end goal. You're talking about progression. Luffy's dream is an end goal. I want to be the freest in the world. Who is my direct conflict of the freest in the world? It is the Yonko, not the supernova. The supernova are not an end goal.
Plot of the
They're
story
not an end
simply
goal.
falls into place to allow these
They
events
never
to happen
were.
as they do in order to reach the end goal, because that's what Oda wants. At the time that Luffy made his proclamation that he was going to defeat the Yonko at Punk Hazard, he had already met Whitebeard, Shanks, and he had talked to Big Mom, and he didn't even know who Kaido was. Out of these people, only Big Mom was someone that Luffy would have an issue with due to what happened in Fishman Island. Shanks is someone that Luffy never said he wanted to defeat, and Whitebeard was a good person that wanted to save Ace. In an alternative timeline, had Whitebeard survived and remained a Yonko, or say, Whitebeard won at Marineford and rescued Ace, would Luffy have journeyed into Whitebeard's territory, defeated Oldbeard, beat up his brother, and then left a giant gap in the balance of power, leaving the people protected by Whitebeard open to death and decay at the hands of other Yonko, just because Whitebeard was a competitor in the journey to find the One Piece? Does it matter to Luffy if the Yonko are good or evil before he decides he's going to beat the
Take care,
Ranger?
Gio.
Or has Oda simply manipulated the story to make it so that things would coincidentally fall in line with Luffy being a good person? That Whitebeard died at Marineford, that Big Mom and Kaido are bad guys, that Luffy would run into characters that would naturally force him to be in locations to encounter the Yonko instead of going out of the way to do it himself, like is the case with Law, who, without, the Straw Hats would have nothing set in place for their journey. Remember, that heading into the New World, the Straw Hats had no plan other than to just follow the log post to the end of the Grand Line. That's what they thought they were supposed to do. Outside of that, they didn't think of anything else, Yonko included. The Straw Hats coincidentally get to where they need to be most of the time, not through actions of their own. Yet we know that Luffy, like many characters in the series, admires Roger for his legacy and what he was able to accomplish, which brings up another observation. Have you ever noticed that nowhere in the story so far have the readers ever been shown why Luffy became so attached to the idea of finding the One Piece? And this doesn't include his conversation with Shanks, this is before this. We don't know where Luffy first heard about Roger, the impact it had on him, and why he's so obsessed.
Which is true.
Why is this missing? Why is it that Luffy, in the journey to become king, is never challenged beyond a battle of fisticuffs? Right or wrong, Luffy is never forced to think, because maybe he can't. Never forced to look at what his ambition entails and apply it to the world at large. Or
So, with this statement, I don't think he's wrong in when he says that, but I think the assumption that a lot of us make is with this one conversation with Shanks, and I might have to pull up the panel. I think when Luffy was telling he's telling Shanks he wants to be a great pirate. In that moment, he's basically over exaggerating. He said, "Oh, so I can't join your crew. I'm gonna be a great pirate. I'm gonna be a pirate that everyone fears or everyone respects." I'm gonna have to look at that panel again. I might as well just go find it now, if I should. But in that moment, the way I interpret it is, Luffy was building up on how great of a pirate that he wanted to be, that he decided, I'm gonna be the greatest pirate of all time. What is something that is intrinsically tied with the greatest pirate of all time? I think that's finding the One Piece, being the king of the pirates. That's when Shanks saw it and was like, he's just like Roger. And that's when he gave him the hat. He's like, all right, go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, be the greatest pirate. So after that childish exclamation, that's why he's like, all right. That's why he's not even bothered. I actually think that's why he's not bothered with Roger, because I generally think he doesn't care about Roger at all. I think he respects Roger, and I think he respects his journey and his status, but as Roger as a person, I don't think he cares at all. I don't think he cares at all about Roger. That's my,
for himself, for that matter. The entire story of One Piece was crafted around Luffy's dream, but at the end of the day, it feels like a hollow dream. The post-time skip, as previously mentioned, is the build-up, logic, and reasoning for how Luffy becomes the Pirate King. Yet what we see is that the post-time skip just has things happen to progress that desire, rather than reflect the progress in the characters. I could even argue that Luffy's idea of what being the Pirate King means is the exact opposite of what he thinks it is. Because as we've seen, the larger narrative and goal in the world of One Piece is completing and fulfilling the destiny of a civilization long gone and to take up the mantle to fight the world for their sake, basically. The basis of the Void Century, the true history, and the knowledge that you learn from it leads you to take up the destiny crafted by other people, as Rayleigh hinted at. Once you become Pirate King, you are straddled with responsibility and almost an obligation to make a choice. Roger and most of his crew became aware of what this purpose was, and this led Roger to disband his own crew, turn himself in, die, and start the Great Age of Pirates. Kozuki Oden went back to his home of Wano with the intention of prepping for the Chosen Ones. Is this truly freedom in the individual sense, or rather, is it freedom on a global and historical scale?
So this is actually a very strong
imply
point.
that Luffy's not as free as he thinks?
This is a strong point, and this is what people have combated is
Perhaps
the notion of destiny.
time will tell.
Yeah,
We haven't gotten that far yet.
That's a time will tell
But
thing.
so
but I agree
far,
with
there's
Drizzts
not
on this.
strong evidence to say that he would care. In a recent chapter, it's alluded to that Luffy has an aspiration when it comes to what one of his goals might be, and it's a mystery. Something he shared with Ace and Sabo and was brought back up again with Yamato and Ace. And perhaps that will lead some listening to argue that what I've already laid out is less relevant because of that.
Right. So
I would argue the
accounted for
opposite,
that.
because becoming the Pirate King still matters to Luffy, and even more. If Luffy has a desire for what he wants to do, the question still remains as to what he has done to accomplish it. Most of Luffy's progress is because of other people. What this leaves you with is an author who has a main character that refuses to interact with his own ambition and hasn't really had any focus in the story whatsoever in regards to this. Oda has abandoned things that seem like they matter to Luffy, such as his interest in Roger, and replaced it mainly with just fighting. This is without a doubt a failure, doubly so because when it comes to the post-time skip, Luffy gets an overwhelmingly large amount of screen time compared to literally anyone else, and with all of that time, not much happens on this front, which relates back to the concept of the 3 Ps.
So that's Luffy's dream. That's the Luffy's dream section. Now I didn't plan on streaming that long anyway, so we'll probably have to stop here with Luffy's dream. We can tackle Zoro's dream is going to be interesting. Nami's dream. We can tackle the dreams because I'm actually curious. I kind of want to harp on these dreams a little bit. So I'll dedicate a stream to the rest of this. But I'll say this for sure. I see where Drizzts is coming from. And he expected more substance and depth from Luffy's dream. Right? He expected more substance and depth from Luffy's dream. And Zoro's dream, I actually think I may agree with Drizzts a lot more with Zoro's dream than I would with Luffy's dream. Although Drizzts also has strong points with Luffy's dream as well. My idea of Luffy is that his depth of character isn't actually important to the story. It's sad. It's crazy to say that, in my opinion. And maybe that's wild. But Luffy's idea and innocence, to a sense, and purity when it comes to freedom influences all of his actions. And all of his actions in itself are based on one pure natural desire to be free. It's true. That's what I'm saying. I think the depth of Luffy's dream has no bearing on the story at all. And that in itself people could call a flaw depending on how they like to absorb the material. But I think Gon is one of the worst MCs in Shonen, and people, whoa, Gon slander, no, sir, no, you're not getting away with that, hell no. You're not gonna type like you was spit. Are you stupid? That's the dumbest statement I've ever seen in my life. You gonna slander Gon? Oh, time him out. I want him gone. Time him out. It's too late. Time him out. Somebody time him out. Time him out. Nope. Out. I want him gone. At least 200 seconds. At least. Get him out. Rick. Where's Rick? Where is Rick? Rick? Gon slander? Not. No. Absolutely not. Yes. Not 6,000. God damn, 6,000. No, okay. Cut it out. All right. Take the time out away. That's Jesus Christ, man. Glam, take out the timeout. Glam, take out the timeout. Thank you. God damn. I said 200 seconds. Y'all dropped 6K on the nigga. Damn. He said. Oh my God. Rick, nigga. He timed him out for 1,000,000 seconds, nigga. Gotta get mine in. Yo. Oh, okay. All right. He said, I don't like on either, but damn, nigga. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, so I'll put it this way. Oh, God, that was funny as hell. Long story short, I see where Drizzts is coming from, but the way I view Luffy is I've accepted the fact that Luffy's character is based on a pure mindset in regards to freedom. In regards to where that pure mindset comes from, I understand if you want more from that. That's the way I took it. I think he just wants more of a concrete motivation of where that freedom comes from so it can justify the rest of his actions. And if you don't have that justification, then you have to put everything else into question. And that's where I think Drizzts is coming from. So I see it that way, I guess. But again, for me, I accept Luffy's purity and innocence for freedom. And I never looked for the real motivation, which in itself could be criticized. It can be criticized. To me, it just doesn't, that doesn't kill it for me. I'll say that. That's not a deal breaker for me. I guess it's my sense. It's not a deal breaker for me, and that's how I see it. Killer was more of an MC than Gon, so let's tackle the Gon thing. But before that, I just want to portray what happened to my man who slandered Gon.
And if Chucky calls you, got him in his bathtub.
Yeah, this is basically what just happened to him when he slandered Gon. This is what happened to that boy. All my monsters came on him.
Junior, Mr. Magoo. Oh, come on. Please, please, please.
This is him.
You're gonna itch me already.
These are my mods. 100 guns, 100 clips. These are my mods right here. That's Rick. Wait. That's him. That's Shadow right there. just light them up for no reason. Just unload the clip. All right. But let's talk about Gon. The reason Killua is such a brilliant character is because, again, Luffy and Gon are actually very similar characters. Gon is a mirror. Killua's life is nothing but darkness and realism. Gon's life is nothing but idealism and innocence. It is a tangent. So when Killua confronts Gon and sees Gon, he sees a side of the world that he never knew existed, and he's a child. So as a child, you naturally gravitate towards that innocence and idealism that Gon has. So both of them together, that's why I say Gon and Killua are one of the best duos ever, because they literally both show each other different, like the sides of the worlds that they never knew existed. That's the whole point of Gon and Killua's relationship. Killua is a brilliant character because of Gon's presence. And Gon is a brilliant character because of Killua's presence. That's the whole point. When you separate Gon, you realize that Gon is a child, and he's been an innocent child that's ignorant to the world for the entirety of the part. So people calling Gon a sociopath, I see what you're saying. But you can't be a sociopath and have empathy. Gon has empathy. He's just ignorant and stubborn. Calling Gon a sociopath doesn't make any sense. Gon is the most empathetic person in the series. That's why people love him and gravitate towards him so much. Gon is straightforward. You hurt Killua's feelings, apologize. He's not caring about the context, the consequences, the understanding. He doesn't care about any of that. You hurt Killua's feelings, apologize. And he's fighting Illumi, that Illumi could fold him in a second. That's what I'm saying. Sociopath. Do you guys know what a sociopath means? Being a sociopath means you have a complete lack of empathy. The nigga's 12 years old. What is wrong with y'all? Gon being a child is actually part of his character. It's literally, if you can't understand that Gon is a child, you don't understand Gon, period. Just don't understand. Thank you. Gon is just ignorant. He's an ignorant child in a dark world. And as he follows Killua around, he's exposed to that dark world because Killua sees the darkness and he'll try to stop Gon. He'll basically try to protect that innocence of Gon to the point in the Chimera Ant arc, Gon had to face that darkness head on. That's why the Chimera Ant arc is so gassed, because the Chimera Ant arc is all about the darkness of the world and humanity. And Gon was not ready. He could not handle it, which is why he was wilding. Gon was wilding in the Chimera Ant arc. He was just out of control because he was not ready to confront the darkness of the world. That's why. Children can be sociopaths, but I don't know if you understand what being a sociopath means. How you feel about people not rating the Chimera Ant arc? I feel like people who don't rate the Chimera Ant arc have a lack of reading comprehension and a lack of understanding of society. If you understand the depths and darkness of society, Chimera Ant arc will be one of the most beautiful arcs you'll ever see. It's the same. Why would Luffy care about his mother if he never met his mother or have any recollection or memory of his mother? Why would he care? Luffy barely has any recollection of Dragon. Why would he care? Luffy's father figure is Garp. I mean, Aaron, a different story. Aaron watched his mother die. That could apply to Ace too. Well, then again, if all you do is hear about how great your dad is and how much of a piece of shit he is, and if your son, the son of that dad, is a piece of shit, yeah. People gas up Ace for what? He does have no recollection of his mom. That's a good point. But I think didn't Garp tell him about what his mom did for him, and that's probably why he cares. No one really told Gon about what his mom did for him. Gon didn't even care about Jin when he just wanted to know. He just wanted to know why. Well, yeah, but again, if all you hear about is how great your dad is, you're gonna be curious, right? We know Gon is a kid, but he's crazy. There are other kids in Hunter x Hunter that are not like him at all. We saw signs of Gon not being mentally there since the Hunter exams. I think you're jumping the gun a little bit here. Think about the world Gon lives in. Gon is a hunter. Gon fights giant monsters and animals and hunts them, and he doesn't kill them, but he's used to a very, very dangerous world. You have to be a little bit unhinged to not be scared of a gigantic rabbit beast. Gon is fearless. That's the whole point. To be fearless, you gotta have a little chip on your shoulder. You gotta have a little edge. You gotta have the courage. Gon is not like other kids. You can't compare Zushi to Gon. They're not built the same. They don't have the same experiences. Yay, but that same dad he idolizes offers information about his mom and a relationship to her. Again, when has Gon ever heard anything about his mother outside of a tape? If you say, hey, you want to learn about your mom? I'm like, nigga, fuck you. I'm trying to find you. I don't care about my mom. What does she do for me? My mom is Aunt Mito. Gon explained it. Did not, wait a second. Didn't Gon explain why he didn't care about his mother? He said, Aunt Mito is my mom. I don't need to figure out my mom. I already have one. Gon already took care of that. Why would he care about his mom when Mito is literally his mother? Mito is literally his mother. And what if Jin killed his mom? Did Jin kill his mom? Did Jin kill his mom? If Mito is his mother, why would he care about someone else who's allegedly his mom? Ridiculous. You're bringing up points that don't matter. Because Gon doesn't even want to hear about it. Because he has Aunt Mito. What point of he has Aunt Mito do you not understand? Y'all making my head hurt. Doesn't make any sense to me. Glon? I never said Glon. I never said that. It's about Jin, yes, but you're worried about why does Gon not care about his mom? Why does he not want to hear about his mom? He explained it. I don't want to know my mom because, one, it would hurt Aunt Mito's feelings. That's the point. He specifically said it. I have a mother. I don't want to search after my mother. I have one. Gon doesn't have a father. He didn't even have a father figure in his life. No. He's never met her. She's never talked about. So why would I care if I have a mother who I love dearly? Why? Why would I care? Put yourself in that situation. He literally said, I wouldn't ask about my mom because Aunt Mito has been there for me since day one. For me to search for someone who I've never met, never heard about would hurt Aunt Mito's feelings, who has taken care of me this entire time. So I would not care. I don't care. No, okay, you know what, right? Rip, you're done. Rip 69, you're not listening anymore. You're done. You're not done. I don't know what his mom has to do with his dad. So then what's the point? What point are you trying to make here? What point are you trying to make with his mother? What point are you trying to make with his mother? That he should care about his mom because his dad mentioned it? Gon is unhinged, yes, because he's a child. Children are unhinged. Because his dad had a relationship with his mom? His dad had a relationship with Aunt Mito. To Gon, his mom is just another woman. She has nothing to do with Hunter. Being a hunter has nothing. Okay, I need to breathe. All right. I'm tired. Okay. I'm very tired. Gon is definitely, Gon is unhinged, but that's what I'm, Glam, please. Glam, help me, please. Oh, absolutely, K&K. You know I do that. I can't. I'm streaming a lot longer. I need to take a break because I'm supposed to be going. I'm going to a concert later tonight, so I need to take a break. I know, Glam. I know you did. I know. One thing I wanted to mention, K&K, Gon is definitely unhinged. Yes, so put it this way. Have you ever had someone bully you to a point as a kid, like when you're young, to the point where you just scream? You don't know how to express yourself because you're too young to understand your emotions going on, so you just scream, or you just lash out, or you throw a tantrum. That's what children do. They're not mature enough to handle their own emotions. Gon being unhinged is him being a child. Gon is in an environment where his emotions are going to be pushed to the peak. It's no surprise. It is no surprise that Gon is unhinged because he's a child and he doesn't know how to handle his emotions. Matter of fact, there is specific proof There is specific proof. When Kite died, and he saw the state Kite was in, look at Gon's face and look at his behavior. I don't actually think Gon had seen someone he generally cared about be reduced to that state before. He could not handle it. You want to know why? Because he's never been put in that situation before. Why? Because he's a kid. Killua instantly understood, oh yeah, he's dead. He's not there no more. Gon wouldn't, because Gon's never lived in that world before. Killua's lived in a world where everyone dies. It is what it is. And the proof of that moment is when Morel wanted to test Gon, and he said, I want you to treat me like I'm one of the royal guard. When Gon, I gotta show y'all. Hold on. I gotta show y'all. I gotta show y'all this. Right here. It's my music, by the way. Ding, dun 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 dun. Look at this. What did Morel say? Morel said something specific. Hold on. You want me to attack you for real, right? Right? In this moment, in particular, he already saw the state of Kite. He wants to go find Kite to see if he's alive. So take this for real. In his mindset, if I'm going to take this for real, if I'm as ignorant and as straightforward as I am and I want to save Kite, I'm going to take this for real. After that, look at that. He charged up. Look at him. Look at that. What is he envisioning right now? He's envisioning what happened to Kite because it's the first time he's seen someone he truly cares about be in that state, right? He's envisioning all of that. This is the face of pure anger, rage, unchecked. This is the face of someone who has no control over their anger and distaste. Look at the shit. This is why I love Hunter x Hunter 2011. The shading of his eyes, the shading of his face, darkness, anger, demonic behavior. This is different. Morel like, oh hell no. Yo, look at Morel, nigga, the sweat. Morel like, hey, I was playing. Listen. And Killer was seeing it too. They're all sweating. This is the childish rage within Gon. Breaking ground, concrete. Does this look like the face of somebody that understands how to control their emotions? Oh, we've seen Luffy. We've already seen Luffy in that state. To the point, and this is what beautiful moment. This is what. Go back just a tad. This here, this moment, is the reason why Gon and Killua are one of the greatest duos in anime history. Killua is mature enough to understand this situation better than anybody else. Killua said, you gonna kill this nigga. Please, I need you to calm down. You're going to kill him. Morel knew, everybody around him knew, you are going to die if he hits you. You will die. It's over for you. It's like that cat meme.
We're brothers, right?
I think it's time you stop posting.
We're brothers. You're brothers. We're brothers. I'm not arguing with you.
We're brothers. Shout out to Kane K with the subscription. Appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Shout out to Master305 with the 5 months of loyalty, 4-month streak. Appreciate you, my boy. That's enough. Because it is. Look at the sweat. Look at the sweat. And then he wakes up. Do you see what I'm saying? Unhinged. He's a child. When you're a child, you throw a tantrum. Children are not aware of them throwing a tantrum. They're just letting their emotions run rampant. It's moments like this you got to pay attention to. But people on Hunter x Hunter, they don't pay it. People who watch Hunter x Hunter say it's not good, they don't pay attention. They don't pay deep enough attention. That's why I know y'all niggas don't read and have reading comprehension. Tell me Gon's a trash MC. Yeah, all right. Okay. Whatever. Y'all lucky. I should be... Listen, honestly, there's going to be a time where I'm going to make a bunch of Hunter x Hunter videos. A lot of them. I'm going to make a lot of Hunter x Hunter videos in the future. It's going to happen. I'm talking about a tweet. Which you said Gon is a trash MC, so you're not escaping regardless. Anywho, that's enough for me. I'm done. No more. I gotta go. Thanks everybody, of course. Great stream today. Don't forget to do the tutorial if you haven't already. Let's try to get to 20 before Monday. I appreciate everybody as always. We have a special stream tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned for that.